Hi, everyone. Welcome to BeerThralls presents Beer Protocol. Once again, I am James, and I am drinking my typical rum and coke, which is now nice and frosty.
And as we
I
are
found
every
Bullseye.
week, there you go. As we are every week, I am horrified at the size of James's rum and coke.
Should be.
This
With
this
no
is
rum.
Jacob. This week I will be drinking the last of my stock of Founders KBS. They're very good. Chocolate and coffee aged in dark bourbon barrels. It's good. It's a little pricey, but it's good.
Matt, what are you drinking?
I'm Matt, and I am drinking my house-made 1.5-year-old Sizer.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And we're talking about
It's
Bullseye
yummy.
today.
My favorite villain. I don't know why.
I found a mug that was sitting here, so I decided to drink out of it.
Yeah. Bullseye,
Nice.
also known as Benjamin Poindexter.
Which is offensive at
He-
the best case.
I mean, if anything,
Why is it offensive?
you turn into a villain because your last name is Poindexter.
So I know a little bit more about Bullseye than I did about Taskmaster when we started last week, and so I did research on Taskmaster. I did no research on Bullseye because I will be perfectly honest. I do not care about Bullseye. Like as a
He throws
character, he
things
just does
good.
not interest me the way Taskmaster does. But he is a classic villain, and I am happy to see him represented in the game. Partially because I feel like his representation in the otherwise kind of big shrug energy of the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie.
Oh
I kind
God.
of feel like, based on what I've heard and seen of Bullseye's comic interpretation, they actually pretty much nailed it.
Yeah, but he's not that.
Bullseye's a jerk.
He is, but he doesn't do like the pointing at the head thing. It's no.
I mean, he's got less facial tattoos, but he's still a jerk.
That too.
So, Bullseye has 5 health. He has a medium movement. He's size 2, and he's 3 points. So he's 3 threat. So we're looking at it does a little more work than a lightweight character, but he's not going to necessarily set the board on fire. Is our expectations going in? We've seen several
Yes.
3-point characters that do subvert that expectation. Like off the top of my head, heck,
Iron Man.
Taskmaster. No,
Oh, not Iron Man. No.
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 But like
Oh.
like we talked about last week, Taskmaster is actually probably one of the best sit on a point and guard it characters in the game. Period. Right now,
I think he's
like
a very
he's
very
way
solid 3,
sturdier.
but we're gonna see if Bullseye actually.
James, do you think Bullseye has a single defensive ability to his name, or is he going to be throwing things offensively?
I think he's the exact opposite of Taskmaster. I think he's just going to be full offensive and please don't hit me in the face.
All right. His first attack is a throwing knife,
Oh
range
wait, his
4.
defenses
Oh, his defenses are
3
threes
across the
across the
board.
board. We shall speak of them no more.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Throwing knife is range 4, 4 dice on the attack, and 0 cost, so an average attack so far. The defending character does not benefit from cover.
That is
After this attack is resolved,
awesome.
this character gains power equal to the damage dealt, and on a wild, gives them out bleed.
So yes,
The
it's
for
ability
good,
to
right?
ignore cover, uh, bleed will cause them 1 damage at the end of each of their activations, unless they spend an action to clear it.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Like I like a 4 dice attack is the absolute minimum of any attack in the game. So against certain characters, you're just breaking even with their physical defense, especially since physical defense is one of the most common defenses in the game. Like you are really going uphill trying to hurt several characters at all with this ability, but ignoring cover is really cool.
but not line of
And I think
sight.
it's going to be a trait for Bullseye in general, but not line of sight. He still has to be able to see you.
He used to see you, but
So
he ignores cover.
All right. His second attack is Pincushion. Range 4, 5 dice on the attack. Power cost 4. The defending character does not benefit from cover. No cover for you. After this attack is resolved, they automatically gain bleed, and then rapid fire. After this attack is resolved, this character may make an additional Pincushion without paying the cost. This must target the original character. This additional attack does not have rapid fire. My first read of this is, oof, that's expensive. Um,
It's
for what it
basically
does.
effectively a 2 cost because you're doing it twice. So it's like 4. Buy one get one
Uh,
free.
I wouldn't say effectively 2 cost because in this game, 4 is a steep hill to climb.
So
Like you have to have 4 to do any of it. It's not like effectively you get to do a 2 cost attack twice. I guess is your logic on that one,
yeah.
but you still need 4.
So the cool thing about this when I first looked at it, I did that's not really great. I mean, for 4 costs, I can just throw 2 throwing knives but then I realized a little thing that says it has to target the original target character is what made me go, "Oh, that's really interesting," because
Yep, that
I
makes it worse
throw
in my opinion.
yeah, I throw well no, for me it makes it better because it's really good against somebody who has like bodyguard. So like
Potentially.
you can go, "Cool. Um I go ahead and do a bodyguard, pass off Hail Hydra, whatever. It passes off to this character, but you still make the second attack against the original character. So you're once again you're giving your opponent a bad decision of do I bodyguard at least one of the attacks, but I'm going to take another one, or just take all the attacks and flip myself.
I don't know if you can take all the attacks unless you spend bodyguard multiple times.
You'll have to spend my bodyguard multiple times because it's 2 separate attacks, but that means you
Right.
have to. If you're low on energy and you're about to flip and somebody does pincushion against you, yeah, I can bodyguard the first one, but there's a possibility of me just being like, well, I can't bodyguard the second.
I hadn't thought of bodyguard. You are correct. That's strong. I saw the automatic bleed, and I also saw 5 dice of damage. So for literally one more die, one more potential damage, you're spending 4. Like that's honestly very terrible.
I
But
don't the four.
no, it's terrible, dude. Trust me on this. It's terrible
So
because I haven't even gotten the rest of this guy's card yet, and I can see that all of his other superpowers cost a power.
oh yeah, I know
So he has no passive or free gimmies. He's paying for everything.
he's it's going to be. I think he's going to be a every other turn character. I think that his powers and his attacks are that's why he's 3 point and not 4 point because they
Mhm.
are so expensive.
So let's go down the rest of his powers. I do want to come back to his attacks because I'm not seeing a game plan for him other than eye range.
Okay.
So let's look at his other attacks or his other abilities. Hit and run costs 2 power. As an action, this character immediately makes an attack followed by a move action. The superpower can only be used once per turn.
That's
That's good.
that's
It's
double
reverse
downing.
charge.
Well, it's double downing. It's basically you're getting a free move out of a single a move and attack out of a single action.
Bullseye does appear to be very action efficient, which is actually pretty good. That's not bad. Next power is a reaction. I never miss. For 1 power, after an attack made by this character is resolved, if no damage was dealt, he may use this to make them suffer 1 damage. So if he has a power to spare, he can always do a guaranteed 1 damage.
Okay, so
How does this
throwing
name all
knife.
agree?
Throwing knife says you get a power for equal to the damage dealt. If I dealt no damage and then use I never miss, do I get the power?
Nope, because the attack is resolved.
All right.
Yep, I never miss is after the attack is resolved, so throwing knives' ability to gain power is no longer in effect.
Not bad if you. It's not bad if you have an extra point of energy and you missed.
Parting shot for 2 power. After an attack targeting this character is resolved, he may use the superpower. The attacking character suffers 1 damage. This character may advance away from the attacking character. Short.
I kind of like that.
That is good. That is no range. There's no range requirement on that one. So if someone hits him from outside of his 4-inch sort of effective range, he can still do it. Okay, so we've seen, looking at his injured card, I don't detect any differences.
2, 1, 2. No extra. Nope. No extra language. He looks like you're still a 5 and a 3. So yeah.
Yep. So let's talk about Bullseye. We've gotten through his abilities and where we kind of
Doesn't
see him
sound very
falling in.
good.
I am
So
underwhelmed is my first initial response. So what I would prefer pincushion, and I get pincushion, it's the description of the attack. I like the automatic bleed. If he can attack 2 different targets with it and just hand out bleed like candy, I think that would be worth the 4 power.
Hawkeye is 3.
Yeah, here's my other problem. I think Hawkeye kind of blows Bullseye out of the water.
Yeah.
Now, unless you're in Crime Syndicate, if you're going for an in-faction, for an in-affiliation, ranged pressure damage person, I think Bullseye is actually going to fit that role really well for people. He's got solid output that he can do. His throwing knife is a good range, okay damaging attack that can get bleed into places, which will help your opponent give them bad decisions. They clear the bleed or they take more damage. Bleed is actually one of the very few status conditions that directly causes damage.
But I'm
Um,
I'm not seeing where he is I'm still
Bullseye's
saying
also
Hawkeye
very
is a better
action.
one.
Yeah, Bullseye is very action efficient, where he can attack and then move, so he can still put out attacks while still moving into position to contest objectives, which for a criminal syndicate is a big deal. He can use pincushion if he has the power to double down, like you said, to bypass bodyguards, or to just really hone in on something and get 2 attacks for 1 action. I gotta find a way. I should probably find another webcam that can like angle down on
Yeah,
me,
you're fine. The question is, okay,
actually get into
so
frame.
he is 5 health. He is in Syndicate. He does actually have the ability to count as 2 people.
Electrify.
And he's able to basically just being able to hold like Wakanda herbs or some type of objective or a civilian or something, and then basically be hit, and then I can move. Or I can do an attack and move at the same action, and then that's really good. He could possibly be a good runner in Syndicate, but
Maybe. He doesn't really have anything other. He has generically good mobility. But again, Hawkeye has his trick arrow that lets him move range 3, place himself within range 3 without spending an action. I
yeah,
mean, that's not as good as a medium movement, but it's also still not spending an action. So Hawkeye is almost as mobile as this.
I'm really trying to figure out a good place for him, but I'm just seeing other 3-point characters. This is the problem we run into a lot is I'm seeing other 3-point characters that are better than this.
Yeah, Bullseye is not super motivating, but I do. So I think the other thing here that's kind of giving me direction of where you want Bullseye to go is the fact that his attacks are super low damage. Like I actually can't remember if there's another model in the game other than 2-point models whose attack they pay for, their costed attack is this low in damage.
Yeah.
And it makes up for it by being able to attack twice, but Okoye has like a 6 dice attack that lets you do her basic attack after that if she gets a wild. It's not automatic. Heck, Black Widow I think second Black Widow has her machine gun pistol,
Mm-hmm.
which is a 0 cost attack that also has rapid attack to do another 4 dice attack. So this is a 5 dice attack, but this costs 4.
I mean,
It's the fact that it costs 4
in
is really
Syndicate,
what's kind of deal breaking for me, because for that 4, you could have both hit and run and parting shot.
Yep.
For a lot more mobility.
I mean, I almost see, unless there was some way of boosting it, I almost see it being a hit and run with throwing knife, and then trying to get the power to do pincushion. But the only thing I see as an advantage is he gives out bleed pretty easily,
Mm-hmm. Which
and
for certain team synergies could be really effective. I'm thinking Hela actually,
yeah,
because Hela from the Asgard affiliation loves having enemies with bleed on them, because that
yep,
triggers more of her special abilities. I think Bullseye would actually, if you want to build a list with Hela, or if you want to bring Hela into Criminal Syndicate, I think Bullseye is a really strong support for her to make it easier for her bleed-based abilities to go off.
yeah. I'm not
On his
seeing.
own, I think Bullseye is perfectly okay range support for an in-affiliation option. I think he's going to want to. Sorry, what I was getting at with his low damage output is I think he wants to find enemies with either low physical health, where each hit is going to matter a little more, or he's
Oh,
going to want to find enemies with low physical defenses or are less likely, because he is all physical.
he's a
That is also potentially another problem.
he's a 3
Is
and
he's
below
all physical.
assassin.
Yeah, I think he is specifically going after relatively dodgy characters.
Yep.
The I never miss is a good insurance policy to guarantee you're always going to get that point of damage off on an objective runner
Yep.
or on someone contesting something. So I think he's good to. I think Bullseye is going to be one of those people who goes in to finish someone. Like if someone survived an attack by like 1 or 2, then Bullseye is probably your man. Because Bullseye will just hit 2 throwing knives, and he'll either damage them normally,
Or just pass out bleed.
or he will use I never miss to finish them off. Because again, he has 2 different abilities which guarantee 1 damage.
Yep.
And then he has bleed, which continues tricking on 1 damage. I think Bullseye is probably going to do okay for damage, but a lot of it's going to be indirect. I don't think his attacks are necessarily going to do most of his damage output.
I can kind of see that. I mean, especially in Syndicate, which is not. I mean, coming from Black Order, the amount of damage they put out, I can see Syndicate just plinking at you and holding you back. This is like. It's really good for him to be kind of like you don't want to hit me, because if you do hit me, I'll do damage to you. But at the same time, if you don't, then I'm just going to just wipe you out.
To be fair, though, like my initial response, if I saw Bullseye across the table from me,
I just would ignore him,
I would probably ignore him. Because
especially if you're playing
the
Asgard.
bleed will. Yeah, Asgard does not care about Bullseye, because Asgard could just pay a power to clear bleed before it damages them. But I think, like, you're right. Bullseye's parting shot relies on someone attacking him. So unless you're in a scenario where he can camp on one objective, odds are a ranged pressure piece may not even be near an objective if it's
Yeah.
trying to apply pressure on an objective. So you might be able to safely ignore him. His ranged attacks are range 4 instead of 5. I remember in some of the games we've played, Hawkeye with his ranged 5 ranged pressure, as well as his like range 3 teleport, could put pressure on you from camping on an objective.
Ignoring terrain, ignoring cover is also nice.
And actually, that is cool. That's a good way of representing Bullseye's shenanigans.
Yeah, but
and
I
make
don't.
him good at hunting Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah, but the thing
Add him
is
to the list of people that can hunt Rocket.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. Is okay, cool. You can hunt Rocket. It's like, yeah, but that means it's one affiliation. Like, what are you gonna do against like Venom? Like, if you're running like a mirror match or something, like
He just kind of feels like that one model you bring just in case.
but
Like
the
he's your
problem is
reserve model. That's it.
we're finding a very hard just in case scenario. Like he's almost falling into the Iron Man problem, which is there's other 3-point models that do what he does better.
Yep, but at least this guy has more interesting rules internationals than Iron Man.
He does.
Although
now,
Iron Man can get above 6 damage.
he can, and he has a beam attack. I don't know, like.
Sorry, he has a beam attack if your opponent is already dunking on Iron Man.
Yeah. I mean, I could see this being like. I mean, against MODOK on his flip side, because he's such low health. But the thing is if you're hunting a low health character,
if you've already flipped MODOK, then you've got damage.
Yeah, you've
from
already
somewhere.
got it. So it's like, I have
This is
no
so
clue.
underwhelming. I don't like him.
I have no clue how he fits in. Like, I don't see anything that he's doing being an advantage to my game. Even in Syndicate, I don't see him being an advantage.
A weird.
Is he?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say a weird counter scenario. Like I don't remember off the top of my head, but like Magneto with his terrain pieces. What if you could attack them to get them, clear them off the board before Magneto gets to use them? I'm trying to think of one of the scenarios where having guaranteed 1 damage on your attacks if you have power is solid, and I think there are several. Like I think if there's a single thing on Bullseye's card that'll make him stand out, it's I never miss, which is his guaranteed 1 damage. Because with only 4 dice, you might only do 1 damage with a normal attack.
I mean, we are talking, like I said, I think a three and below character, because most 3-point characters are like 4 health or below,
Yeah.
and I do see like, okay, yes, it is disastrous if you have 4 health and he just blinks you for a 1. You've just taken a quarter of your health. Especially if you also have bleed on it, and then you do the blink. It's putting you in a bad situation. But once again, if you're a 4-point character, if you're a 4 health character, other things like Venom and like other people in the syndicate are going to just roll you over when you get close. So
The one you get close being the crucial factor.
I mean, if the thing is, I'd paint up Hawkeye as Ronin and throw Ronin in there.
Stab a man. I could see I Never Miss also being a way to apply pressure to things like Captain America or Black Panther with their insane I add blanks to my defenses. Cool. I wasn't trying to hit your defenses, bro.
Oh, that is actually a brilliant way of getting around that, because it's just like, you know,
fun fact
I
about
have vibranium shielding and I take no damage, and it's like, cool, take a point.
and also throwing knife, if it applies bleed, it doesn't have to do damage to apply bleed. He just has to roll a wild. Only 4 dice means you've got like 30% chance. On my head, there's 1 wild in each die, and there's 4 of them. You'll probably get it half the time. So you could always just throw fishing expeditions with throwing knives, especially with hit and run.
If you have 6 power on you from some ungodly known reason,
that's the other thing too. Is I'm kind of wondering about Bullseye, because how does Bullseye get power?
By being hit, apparently, and throwing knife, which is 4 dice, which means you're probably getting a power or 2 a turn.
Mm-hmm. So how does Bullseye get enough power to use all of these abilities?
Don't make me say Shuri. Don't make me say Shuri.
He gets obliterated.
Might be Shuri. No, it's not going to be Shuri. Shuri doesn't give out power. Are you insane?
I mean,
Shuri does have. Sorry, Wakanda did bring the tactics card that lets you spread power around the table, but that's still only 1 to each person. Like, I'm genuinely kind of wondering, like, unless you get lucky or you hit a soft enough target or Hulk, where Bullseye can just pour damage into them, how does Bullseye even get enough power to afford hit and run every turn? Not even pincushion. Pincushion feels like a pipe dream.
Like I said, it seems like he's an every other turn character. Like he's going to bank energy.
And you're using hit and run almost every turn, just so you can stay mobile, contest the objective, and get the efficiency of 2 actions for 1.
I don't know.
Because hit and run can also let you.
He gets. So he gets a little power. Are you really using hit and run anyway?
Right, because I feel like if someone's rushing up to engage him, you can use hit and run to force them to use actions to chase you. If they decide they need to get Bullseye.
He's once again each thing. Like I'm going back to the whole thing about like maybe Captain America and things like Black Panther and anything else that has a like, oh, I add blanks to my defense. Things like that are going to be very now. Maybe in X-Men, there's going to be a lot of people, or even like see, even like Black Order is like, even their invulnerability basically says it's down to a minimum of 1. So maybe he's a high defense killer, where like you're just throwing tons and tons of dice, and he's just going, cool, I missed. Pay a point, and you're now plinking 1.
My problem with that, though, is if throwing knife isn't gaining him power at least occasionally, then his 1 power per turn is 100% on I Never Miss, and you can't do it more than once per turn.
Yeah.
So he needs to get paid. He needs to throwing knife needs to hit something.
Yeah,
in order
either
for
the
him
first
to
or
make
second
it
turn.
out.
If he's attacking twice around, okay, and he's got 1 power from the beginning of the turn, if he misses the first one, he can do I Never Miss. Then he gets a second chance at throwing knife to basically try to get some more power to have parting shot, or the next round have hit and run. It seems like it's just too much forethought, then in this game it can change rapidly, turn to turn.
I feel like you get to use Pincushion once per game. The turn after he is dazed and flips over.
Yeah, if you're listening to this and we missed it, like looking at the card and we just go, how are you not seeing this? Just yelling at your computer screen. Please tell us, because I am not seeing any good combos. I'm not seeing any good like places to put him in my list. Even in Syndicate, I'd rather take other 3-point characters.
So James, for your usual game of how does this person help Red Skull?
Honestly, I don't even play the game, and I'm looking at it going.
Actually,
I don't know how he helps anyone.
The only way he helps Red Skull is if he has 2 power on him, because then Red Skull just goes Hail Hydra, passes it off to Bullseye. Bullseye gets attacked from the hit, and then he immediately uses Parting Shot, throws a point of damage, and moves short. But there's other better bodyguard type things to pass off to. That's the only thing I can think of is how he helps Red Skull.
Honestly, of all the characters I've sat in and played with you guys, this is the first one I looked at, and I couldn't figure out a damn thing for him. Everyone else, I could look at the card. I don't know the rules as well as you guys do, but I got an understanding of what you could use it for based off of what's on the card. I can't do that with Bullseye. I have no way of going. He is a question that your opponent needs to answer, or
if maybe he was range 5, if he was range 5 on his attacks, I could possibly see it. If Pincushion was a 3 power, or even if he had even if I Never Missed was a cost 0 power, like I could lower it to a cost 0, as in if the first attack missed, then
you could bring Bullseye with Avengers. That'll do it. First power you use each turn costs 1 less, so you could I Never Miss for 0 the first time and then 1 the second time.
He does work a little bit better with Avengers.
You could also hit and run for 1.
Yeah.
So I could see that, because Avengers has access to a lot of things, including Hawkeye.
But yeah, he has Hawkeye.
Hawkeye, you already said, was better than Bullseye, and you'd rather bring him anyway for 3 points.
I mean, Hawkeye.
Yeah, if we're comparing only the characters that have I in their name somewhere, then I think Hawkeye does beat up Bullseye. Yeah. Stay tuned for Storm Eye.
No.
No, not every character is gonna be the next huge thing to burn up the table. I think Bullseye will probably fill a solid range spot for Criminal Syndicate players.
Jake, I do know an advantage that Bullseye has. He's 2 colors to paint.
Dude,
black and gray.
Are you not even
forgot
going to give
about
him
the skin right here?
Yeah, his face.
I just make it gray.
Bullseye's an alien. You heard it here first.
No one's gonna play him.
No, it's just the bottom part of the mask. He's doing COVID responsibilities there.
Just made all black.
And with was it hit and run and parting shot? He's keeping his social distance.
There we go.
Also, he's throwing knives.
COVID. He's the COVID character.
Exactly.
He could stab you just as well. He chose to throw those knives for your social safety.
Exactly.
Okay.
Killing at a distance because he cares.
I'm at
Guys, do you think Kingpin enforces social distancing in his criminal enterprise? Do you think Kingpin is following mandates?
Heck yeah! All his people are wearing masks right now.
Yeah.
He seems. I don't know if he necessarily cares about his people, but he cares about them continuing to be able to work and do business.
And they're all wearing gloves. They're fully equipped with their PPE.
And I can promise you, they have PPE, unlike the doctors in New York.
I mean, Doc Ock has extra arms that he doesn't have to touch anyone with. So,
social distancing.
Oh my God, I really do want a comic. Tell me this exists somewhere of Doc Ock doing medical practice. Of him, a reformed Dr. Octopus just doing surgery with 8 arms.
He's a physicist, not a physician.
I know, but that would be funny. Give me the joy. Physics is boring in comics.
He's also kind of smart enough. I'm pretty sure he could pick up on it quickly enough.
All right. Anyway,
Also, why
There's-
doesn't Doctor Strange do medical practice anymore?
his handshake.
Because his hands go like this.
Doesn't he have Mage Hand level 12 or whatever nonsense? You can't tell me
If
at
it's
this
like
point he's
his
like,
hand, it's
Yes.
gotta go like this.
He has psychic
ah,
sense.
yes, the mystical arms of Agamotto. Cut this man open and remove his spleen.
Oh my god. Okay, so Bullseye's crap. Thank you
The
for watching.
cape probably has enough manual dexterity to perform surgery.
You're good. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If we miss something with this, please tell us below because I'm at a loss. All right. Thanks for watching. Game
Thanks,
off.
guys. Game off.
Bye.